Hey there, YouTube land, and I wanted to start off my early Halloween with a bang. So today I'm reviewing Raro Video's Murder Obsession by directed by Ricardo Fridi. And if the name Ricardo Fridi kind of sounds familiar, but you're not quite sure from where, he is the director that made the movie I Vampiri. Basically, that was the first sound horror film that was made for Italy, and he's got quite the resume. So before we get into what about the movie and the DVD itself, uh, aside from that, he made Keltiki, The Undying Monster, Samson, Seven Miracles of the World, The Witch's Curse, The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock, The Ghost, The Iguana with the Tongue of Fire, Tragic Ceremony, and Double Face. This would be Friedi's final film. I think he did second unit director on one other film after this, but this would be his final directorial one. What's neat to notice about this is it has a pretty good cast of familiars if you are a fan of Italian cinema. We have Anita Strindberg here, who plays the mother. There's his girlfriend, played by Silvia Dionisio. Oliver is played by John Richardson, again doing a fantastic job in that. And the main actor is Stefano Patrizzo. Oh, we got that right. And the movie itself runs about 95? Yeah, 95 minutes long. It's sort of a giallo black magic, and there's going to be some spoilers in here, just so you know. But I will make a kind of a notation before I start with the spoiler part of the video. Raro Video always puts out some really good quality stuff, and I love the cover of this one here. When you open it up on the inside, you notice that it has the Raro does like these complete black labels, and normally I would find it kind of boring and meh, but for Raro it actually works, and it's something that goes with all their films. It's kind of a uniform thing. And I kind of really dig it with this company. Now I gotta watch what I show you on here because this booklet does have quite a bit of nudity in it. So again, you see this here, Murder Obsession. There's a good write-up. They always do an introduction where they basically give you the whole plot line of the film. Then they do something that's called the best scenes, which I really like, where they kind of like let you know what scenes they think are some of the most important ones. We have a biography of Ricardo Fridi here, and he was born apparently in Alexandria, Egypt in 1909, and he died in Rome, Italy in 1999. So, I'm not sure if this was his last film or his last horror film, because that's a long space in between. But it is, I gotta say, it's a fantastic film. We have Angelo Matteo doing the special effects on this, and he was like an old hand in the special effects genre. Now, he was mentoring a very famous special effects artist in Italy. Well, he would become a very famous special effects artist, and would actually direct a film that I really like called The Wax Mask, and that's Sergio Stavaletti. And if you know the name Sergio Stavaletti, then more than likely you know it from his work with Argento. Now, Angelo Matteo had worked with Argento himself in the movie Inferno. He did the floating like skeletons, corpses under the water in the big underwater sequence. Now, which meant he worked a lot with Umberto Bava. He worked with Umberto Bava, and he knew Argento, and he's the guy that introduced Argento to Sergio Stavaletti. And as we know from like movies like Opera and Style Syndrome, Stavaletti would become a huge part of Argento's crew when it came to doing a lot of the special effects work. Murder Obsession is a very strange film. I can't say it's not boring. And one other actress that I got to note is that Laura Gemser actually has a decent part in this. Laura Gemser, most people know from her softcore films, especially the Black Emanuelle series that were extremely popular back in the late 70s, early 80s, I think. My dad was a huge Laura Gemser fan. She did like a lot of movies. She did some of those women in prisons movies as well, and a gorgeous lady. Now, the cinematography in this is actually really damn good. The story, okay, we're going to get into some spoilery stuff here. So, I won't spoil anything right yet, so you can keep watching it at this point. Michael is an actor, and he's making a and he's just finished the last shot on this horror film. Now, the last shot is kind of like him, like strangling the character Beryl, played by Laura Gemser. Now, when he does, almost goes into hypnotic type of trance, and he almost actually strangles her. We know that there's something going, there's something kind of off with Michael, but we kind of don't know what it is. Now, we find out pretty fast, though, that Michael has some deep, deep rooted issues in the fact that he killed his father when he was younger. His father was apparently beating his mother, and he, in self-defense, he protected his mother and killed his father. Now, he decides to take his girlfriend home with him, but he doesn't call her his girlfriend when he gets to the to the family estate. He says, "You're gonna, I'm gonna call you my secretary." And he meets the groundskeeper Oliver, who he tells the truth to. This is my girlfriend. I'm gonna tell my mom this is my secretary, and I haven't seen my mother in years. He goes in, and the mother greets him extremely passionately, almost strangely passionately. And before long, he's not sure. There's kind of like a strain in the relationship between him and his girlfriend because of the way that his mother acts towards her, and the fact that he's not saying that it's his girlfriend. And then we get the rest of the crew decides to come down. The director and some of the other actors from the film come down for basically a few days to be at the estate. The director is really into the occult and black magic, and actually has some pretty disturbing, creepy things himself. This is kind of a murder mystery here, guys. So what we have is a place where a lot of people are put into like a kind of a secluded area, and we get to see people killed off. Now, people don't get killed off till later in the film, but we manage to keep your attention. One, by having some pretty intriguing characters and some really cool camera work. The soundtrack itself was very old school, and sometimes seemed a little out of place or a little over, but it was Italian. It was like very much I don't know what the right word I'm trying to use here, but the soundtrack at times seemed a little bit too pronounced. But the film overall, it was fantastic. It includes elements of black magic, the occult. There is a really cool scene, a nightmare sequence between with the character. What's her name in here now? Deborah. And she tells her boyfriend about the nightmare sequence, about her nightmare basically, about the nightmare sequence. Yes, I've had a nightmare sequence. About the nightmare about her basically going into this like secret tunnel and finding these two people, and they're wearing like these creepy masks. And she sees a gigantic spider that almost turns into a spider person type of thing, and they're doing this big black mass that's going on. And there's the knife is being put close to her. There's this kind of spider type person that's coming towards her, and actually there's bats, and it's all very cheesy and old school special effects. The bats, you can see the strings. The spider's very rubbery, which thank God for me because I have a huge phobia of spiders, and it was just one of those really freaky scenes. It went on for a while, and I'm like, this is a long freaking nightmare scene. But actually, it pays off in the end because there is a reason for it, and we do find out. We get to see a few murders. The murders are done pretty. They try to keep them mostly on screen, except for one very important one, which is left off screen for a reason. Barrow, played by Laura Gemser, who has someone try to attack her the night before, but doesn't succeed. Was killed the next day. Apparently while making love to Michael, who already has a girlfriend. So Michael, of course, has been having these like zoning out times when he does remember what happens. So when Michael wakes up naked next to the naked Beryl, and her stomach is slit open and there's a bloody knife beside him, he's pretty sure he's got to get out of Dodge and find a way out of this because he's pretty sure he's a goner. After all, he's just killed Beryl. Or has he? The director has been watching from afar, taking pictures, and the director runs back to his hotel and to write a note, only to be faced with an axe right in the middle of his head. And before I go on any further, I'm going to give a spoiler tag right now because we're going to get into the ending of the film. So if you don't want to know what the ending of the film is, I'd say stopping right here at the 10 minute and 45-second mark, and watching the rest of this after you got a chance to check out Murder Obsession. After all, this is very giallo-like. Okay, ready? Okay, now we're going to go on with the spoilery part of it. Murder Obsession has a very kind of an Oedipal sequence to it. The mother is very, very much obsessed with the boy who looks exactly like his father. His father was a famous composer. Now, we find out later on that he did not kill his father. Actually, his mother tells him that not only did he not kill his father, he didn't kill anyone. And then she goes on to tell him that Oliver had a strong influence over his father, and basically he killed his father after basically raping his mother continuously, and then blamed it on him. And because he was so young and so impressionable, he kind of believed it. That, and it's been heavily suggested that Oliver is psychic, has some sort of psychic abilities. That's very much black magic, and there's a lot of kind of twisty stuff in this. Now Oliver goes to Oliver's room to find Oliver dead, poisoned on the floor. He's drank poison, and there's a tape recorder beside him. We find out that Oliver has in fact not killed his father. He has not raped the mother, but the mother seduced Oliver, and she's actually pretty purely evil. She has got her son back there in hopes to kind of bring back her husband, sort of, but in any way, to the husband who looks just like the son who looks just like the husband now. She wants him as hers, as her lover, to help her win the Black Mass, because the dream sequence that I mentioned earlier wasn't a dream sequence at all. It was all real. They just made her think that it was a dream thing. So all the gigantic spider person and the Black Mass and all that actually happened. It was just seemed so surreal that the girl didn't believe that this was actually happening to her. And she passed out, and when she came to, who would think it was actually something that was real? So finding out that his mother has done this, he confronts her, and she says, "Yes, I killed your dad, basically, but she doesn't call him. She calls him by his father's name, and she says, you're gone. The father is inside that shell of a body," and he looks at her like she's completely crazy, and he runs down to find that the secret room that was talked about in the dream. He finds pictures of himself with Beryl, and he does find a picture that does prove Oliver's statement from beyond the grave that yes, his mother has been killing all these people, and he sees a picture of her actually killing Beryl, and then he turns around, screams as his mother attacks him with a knife. At this point, Deborah has come back to the castle, to the man or whatever, and has gone down to look for Oliver. She sees Oliver dying in his mother's arms, and at this point, she realizes that she can't go back. The kind of like it slams the door, basically the entrance slams shut. There's no way out, and Deborah is now trapped in this hell for eternity. She should never have gone back. Michael's dead, and she's stuck there, and This Is Her Hell. It's a very strange film. There are some great evocative sequences in it. The special effects are not the best. But we have to remember that this was done back in 1981. As I'm sure Mood 616 would say, it's a great year for horror since he did like the 52 weeks of 81 type thing. But I gotta say, throughout the entire thing, I don't think I took my eyes off the screen once. This was a really good movie, and I know I want more Raro stuff. I've only got a few things by Raro, but the food that I have are have all been quality prints, good sound, good picture, and just overall quality stuff. You got booklets in here. We have an interview with Sergio Stavlettis talking about how he met Angelo Mattei and how he worked with Argento, his work on this film here, basically his early stuff, and he's pretty honest and frank about the way that Riccardo Fridi was not a fan of special effects artists, and he did not impress him when he first started out doing this movie. He mentions Argento in kind of in passing, and yeah, I gotta say, I strongly recommend this movie. It's very much has some very cheesy effects. So if you're gonna be hung up on realistic gore type effects, then this probably isn't the movie for you. If you're not an Italian giallo fan or black magic, like whatever fan, this may not be your type of film. But I think this is something that you should actually at least rent it and see it once to see if this is one for you. It's one that I'm glad to have in my collection. It's very visceral. It's kind of artsy. There are some great sequences in this. Some great set pieces. The ones they chose as the best pieces of the film here. They took Deborah's Nightmare, and I gotta agree, that was fantastic. I did find it creepy. Of course, there was the snakes and the spider, and spiders creep me out. The revelation about the mother and seeing the flashback was fantastic, and the fact that having the dual flashbacks, the mother telling her story, which is a complete and utter lie, and then having that flashback too, is very twisted. Especially when you find out what the actual truth is through Oliver's recorded message that he leaves to Michael, and then we see flashbacks of what really happened as opposed to the flashbacks of what the mother said happened, and it's really strange and really twisted. And of course, Michelangelo's Pieta, and basically, it's what we see at the end of the movie. Kind of a reference is is Deborah in the basement, and looking at her boyfriend Michael dying in his mother's arms, and realize she's stuck. She's in the house. She's internal imprisonment in this house, and she's not getting out. If you have not checked this out yet, I gotta say, I strongly recommend that you do. And in fact, looking at the notes here, this was in fact Riccardo Frida's last film. He would only go behind the camera one more time as a second unit director. So if you're a fan of these type of films, and another thing too, they actually put in the uncut. This is uncut, so you get the, not that there's it's not the gore and anything's cut. There's actually some just some scenes that are cut out of the film. They're put back into the film. Of course, there's no dubbing on those, so there are subtitles for those sequences. But this is actually a dubbed film, and it's a really good dubbing. Overall, this has been a great first night and a great start to my early Halloween horror fest. And guys, join in. Pick a movie, pick something unique and something different. Tonight I took the chance on Murder Obsession, one that I've been wanting to watch for a while. I picked up one that basically brand new off of eBay a nice while back, and I never got around to watching it because I wanted to wait until Halloween. So here I am starting off my early Halloween with Murder Obsession. I got to give this movie a 3.5 spider peoples out of 5. But the DVD presentation itself is just a solid 4 out of 5. Same with the audio. And for special features, I'll give it a 3 out of 5, even though there's not a lot of special features. It's just basically the interview with Sir Joseph Lediz. It's a fantastic interview, and of course there's cutscene footage. We got the fully illustrated booklet. So you know what, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 on special features, because even though there's not a lot of special features, the special features that are here are ones that are well done. This movie's well represented. Murder Obsession. Check it out. Great movie. You haven't checked out the Raro Films Company, you really, really should. They have some fantastic stuff, and Murder Obsession is one that I strongly recommend you get. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying this early Halloween. And this is my first review. I'm going to be doing a lot more, and I'm going to be trying to do a lot of really unique and different stuff like Murder Obsession. I'll be doing some tried and trues as well, but you know, everybody's going to be basically reviewing Halloween or Friday the 13th. And I just thought for the start, let's go for something different, something unique. I love to see what you guys go for. Let me know if you've seen the film or if you know Riccardo Fredi's work. And for me right now, I've been talking for 21 minutes, and it is definitely time for tea. Have a great night and enjoy the early Halloween. I'm going to have fun with this.